Well, I live in the county of Suffolk. It's a delightful place, pretty flat and really nice for cycling. And my wife were out on a Sunday morning cycling nearly 2 years ago now. And we went down a hill and we were doing about 25 miles an hour and we hit some sand and I came out okay, but she came off a bike, smashed her shoulder. And I thought it was just a collarbone, no big deal. We get to the hospital. The thing starts to escalate until they bring in the top consultant. She had managed to smash the hummus at the top of the shoulder of the ball into 4 pieces. It was fragmented. It was the worst shoulder injury they'd ever seen. This was not good. We were sent home and returned the next day to go into the operating theatre, and Jane was in there for 6.5 hours. This was a pretty big operation. She came out with a long plate and 12 bolts in her arm. I purchased the x-rays. They're an absolute work of art. The surgeon came to see us and he said, "Well, the problem with this is probably the bone's going to die. And I'm going to have to fit an artificial shoulder and they're not very good. Nothing like hip joints or knee joints." And so we were looking at probably an operation every 3 years, 18 months to recover from every operation, and a prognosis of only about 15% movement of her arm. She was facing permanent disablement. You could have been despondent. I was personally very upset about this. I don't like the idea of having a disabled wife, and to see her in such agony was really quite upsetting. So I started to do some research. I'm an engineer. I'm not a medic. But it soon became apparent there was some significant success using ultrasonics. Merely making the bone interface jiggle causes the bone to grow and makes it knit. So I looked around and I found a gentleman in Frankfurt who'd had his finger chopped off, had it sewn back on, but the bone refused to knit. He'd gone out and spent a small fortune on a bone growth stimulator. He'd now got a normal finger. So I gave him a call. This was at 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock the next morning, I was in possession of the machine. I'd done a deal with him via eBay, would you believe? I then got the x-rays. I marked up my wife's shoulder with a felt tip pen, called the surgeon and said, "This is what I've done, this is what I've got, can I get 10 minutes of your time?" This is a young surgeon. He was so enthusiastic. We went down to the hospital. He got a red pen out and corrected my errors. And so I'd now got positive targeting. We went home every night and morning. I was dosing Jane for 20 minutes at a time with ultrasonics. After a few weeks, I took her down to the private hospital. I got more x-rays taken, and one at a time, I closed each fissure. We completed a heel, no dead bone, a heel. I then hired the ex-Ipswich Town football physiotherapist and got him to work on it. Fast forward to today, my wife has now got over 95% movement back. She can carry a bucket of water. She's got a pretty poor right hook. I don't have to look out for that anymore. Her left hook's deadly, but her right hook's still pretty pathetic. And she returned to normal life, and she's now going to the gym and she's doing exercises, and you have to look at her carefully to see that she's had this accident. And the skin heal, you have to look carefully to see the scar. Victory all round. I don't think it comes any better than that. What did I have to lose? I couldn't make it worse, and just by being a bit adventurous, we got a fix. I've since educated a few people to this who've had similar accidents, and I've pointed out how to get the machine, what it costs. I'm keeping the machine in my cupboard just in case I have an accident. Relief is probably the biggest word, and the other one is actually another 2 words, self-satisfaction. I am really rather pleased I took the initiative, and I feel some sense of satisfaction that I managed to help my wife regain the control of her body and the movement and not live a life of a disabled person.